Okay, I would like to call to order the May 18th, 2020 Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners regular meeting. Welcome, everyone. This will be, I think, our fourth virtual meeting, which the others have gone extremely well, and I trust that will be the same for tonight. I did want to mention a couple things before we get started. We have, of course, since this is our regular meeting, we have our informal public comment section. There are several different ways that the public can participate in that regard. One of those is to be present at our meeting chambers. There is someone stationed there with the proper video equipment to include someone in this meeting. Another way is to have sent the information in advance requesting to be heard, and there would be a link that could be sent to you. And then the third way is that anytime from this point forward, you may email your name, address, and telephone number to public comments, public comment, singular, at cabarruscounty.us. And the information would be sent back to you with a link as to how to join this meeting during the public comment section. That also would apply to two public hearings that we have later on in our meeting tonight. And so that address again is public comment at cabarruscounty.us. And if you send your name, address, and telephone number to that email address, then you'll receive a response back as to how to join the meeting. And if you have any problem with that, you can always call the county offices as well. So with all of that being said, first up on our agenda tonight is approval or correction of the minutes. All of you have copies of those minutes before you. So at this time, do I hear a motion to approve the meeting minutes as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for approval.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hsu. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, a second from Commissioner Kiger. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes unanimously. Next is the approval of the agenda. And looking at our agenda, including the changes on page 23, you'll notice that on the changes, there are some comments regarding the appropriate wording for a couple of our motions that will be considered tonight. Those are to include the new state public hearing procedures, which allow citizens an additional 24 hours after our virtual meeting to submit any comments that they might have. So we'll mention that certainly again when we get to those public hearings, but that provides the public with yet another avenue to provide their input. Agenda, we do have a closed session, which we will require tonight. That will be a closed session to discuss pending litigation according to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11 and 3. So at this time, do I hear a motion to approve our agenda, including the pages on the changes on page 23, as well as the closed session that I just mentioned. Commissioners, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the agenda as presented with the changes on page 23.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hsu and a second, I think, by Commissioner Kiger. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes unanimously, and we move now to recognitions and presentations. We are very pleased tonight to be able to recognize graduating members of our Youth Commission, and we are happy to be joined by Tracy LeCompte from the Extension Service, who will lead us in that recognition. Welcome, Tracy. Okay, we'll see if Tracy might be having a little technical difficulty connecting there. Are you with us, Tracy? Okay, I'll ask our clerk, Lauren Linker, as she.
Yep, here I am. I'm so sorry.
Very good. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Thank you to all of our county commissioners. We are definitely on a learning curve on all of this stuff here. Like you said, I am Tracy LeCompte. I am the 4-H agent with North Carolina Cooperative Extension, the Cabarrus County Center. And we have 5 graduating seniors this year. The Youth Commission has worked really hard this year to adapt to some changes. Obviously, we're just like everyone else adapting to those changes. And we have worked really hard over the year to focus on 2 main things. And that was with voter registration and doing some early voter registration with our 16 and up youth in the community. And so the Youth Commissioners worked from the fair all the way up until we couldn't do it anymore to get out there and shake hands and greet people and get people to vote for their early registration for voting. And then they were also very active within the Complete Count Committee for Cabarrus with the U.S. Census. So we were really excited about the work that they were able to play within our community. The Youth Commissioners, as you know, sit with the Board of Commissioners every month during their regular business meeting. And we also have another meeting earlier in the month, each month, to go and explore each department. So a big thank you to each one of our county departments who have worked with us to get the youth involved in such things. So we have 5 youth with us tonight. And again, I'm hoping that they're here online. I do know that Abigail Bringle, that's who we're going to start with. I believe that she is not able to join us. So if you are here, Abigail, jump in. But Abigail was a 1-year member of our Cabarrus County Youth Commission. She's a senior at A.L. Brown High School, and she has enjoyed working on the Youth Commission. She plans to attend East Carolina University in the fall and plans to major in nursing and pursue a career in the medical field. So we look forward to all the places that Abigail is going to go. She's been a great representative for our A.L. Brown community up there. Second, tonight we have Grace Pfister, and she is a representative from Concord High School. She served as our secretary for the Youth Commission this year. Grace, are you able to join us?
Yes, hi.
Hello, Grace.
So my name is Grace Pfister, and I am the Youth Commission representative for Concord High School. And this is actually my first year in 4-H and in the Youth Commission. And I'm so grateful to be able to have this opportunity to serve in my community. And next year I am attending North Carolina State University.
Thanks, Grace. Our next high school graduate that we want to recognize is Luke Winkle. Luke has been a 2-year member of the Youth Commission, and he has been a very active role within our North Carolina 4-H program, representing Cabarrus County at a lot of our state events, as well as the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners with you all last fall. He is currently our vice president of the Youth Commission. I don't believe Luke's able to join with us tonight, but he has really enjoyed a lot of the things that we've done through 4-H. And he's told me multiple times, I wish I would have been in 4-H a long time ago, because this was a great opportunity to get out there and network with 4-Hers from all across the state. Luke was a very valuable asset within the voter registration. It was one of the strong points behind getting so many people to register at the Cabarrus County Fair. And we value his input and all the hard work that he did throughout the year. So thank you, Luke. Our next senior is Sarah Hewson, and she is graduating from the Early College High School here in Cabarrus County. And she has been in 4-H for a couple years now and served with the Youth Commission for 2 years. And she started serving with as our president for the Cabarrus County 4-H County Council last year, and then this year has served as the president for Youth Commission. I believe Sarah's here as well, and she'll be able to tell you a little bit more about her plans. I'm hoping that Sarah was able to be here. She is a very busy lady, and she was president of HOSA this year with her school, and also served, like I said, with the 4-H program. She's gone to a couple different events as well as Luke. So she and Luke have really been our powerhouses within that part there. She's already conducted research, part of the ECU Brody School of Medicine there, and have done different internships throughout the year. So she plans to attend Duke University with a double major in global health and neuroscience. So we have a couple of them that are going into the medical field, which we're really excited about. And, you know, right now we are definitely thankful for all those who are in the medical field and moving towards going into the medical field. And last but definitely not least, we have the opportunity every once in a while to have youth that join the Youth Commission and stay with us for 4 years. And Hewson is one of those young people who has joined us. He joined us as a freshman and served his 2 years term as a freshman and sophomore, and then reapplied and was interviewed and accepted for his junior and senior year. Hewson is one of our at-large representatives, and he represents our homeschool population here in Cabarrus County. I believe Hewson is online and was able to come to the meeting, so I'll let him share a little bit.
Hi, my name is Hewson Gardner. I am the at-large representative on the Youth Commission for the homeschooled population of Cabarrus County. I've been on the Youth Commission all 4 years of high school and have really enjoyed learning about all the different local government departments. And I plan on attending Catawba College this fall, where I plan to major in economics and finance with a minor in sports management. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Oh, congratulations.
So those are our 5 seniors. We have a previous graduate of the Youth Commission who is helping out with us, Jack Lambert, and he has been very crucial in helping us to navigate some of these new technology challenges. And we are very thankful for your continued support of all that you do, your patience when working with the youth when they have questions, and all the things of sitting up there on the board. It's a new and nerve-wracking experience for them all. So thank you all for the support over the year, and all of the support obviously that we get of our Cabarrus County 4-H program over the years as well. So thank you all, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Well, thank you, Tracy. I think maybe Sarah Hewson may have joined us a little bit later, so wanted to give Sarah an opportunity to say a few words if she would like at this time.
Hi, sorry, I couldn't figure out how to join. I had to download the app.
Yes.
But hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is Sarah Hewson. I've been involved with 4-H for a couple years now. Last year I was the county council president, and this year I served as the president of the youth commission. It's given me amazing opportunities. I got to learn more about local government, tour different places around Cabarrus County. And it's actually, I've grown to appreciate local government a lot more, because I remember going into it, I honestly had no clue how local government was operated, who the people were, who my commissioners were, and now I'm able to have that relationship with them, which is really cool. After high school, I plan to attend Duke University, major in neuroscience and maybe global health. And that's all about me.
Right. Well, congratulations.
I like that Duke shirt you got on. I like it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, congratulations to all 5 of you. It has certainly been our pleasure to have you join us at our meetings and see the activities that you've been involved in. I know that Commissioner Kiger has served as our liaison to your group, and he has attended a number of your meetings. I was fortunate to sit in on 1 or 2 myself, and we certainly appreciate your interest and everything that you've done to contribute to Cabarrus County, and wish you well in the future. I'm sure that there are big things ahead of all 5 of you, and we look forward to hearing back from you in the future. I'll open up the floor to if any of the other commissioners have any comments they'd like to make at this time.
Well, I'll make a quick comment just as the liaison. Tracy does an amazing job of working with the youth commissioners, the enthusiasm in that room at their meetings, and it's palpable and it's fun to watch, and I've enjoyed it very much. And Tracy, hats off to you. You do a great job.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Just wish them all great. Sorry. I just said I wish them all great lucky for their futures.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Any other comments before we move to our next item? Okay. Thank you all. And next on our agenda is our proclamation for Memorial Day. I will read that proclamation at this time. Whereas our ancestors shaped the structure of our political system, laid the groundwork for higher discoveries in science and medical research, started long-lasting traditions that enrich our heritage, and fought in wars so that future generations would have freedom. And whereas it is important to cherish the memory of our friends and family members who have died and to remember their contributions towards making our lives better. And whereas the veterans who fought and died for our country helped preserve the freedoms and rights guaranteed to all people under the U.S. Constitution. And whereas on Memorial Day, Americans remember the enormous debt of gratitude we owe to our veterans who have lost their lives in the defense of freedom and the pursuit of peace, and we reflect on the past and renew our patriotism so that we may continue to live in freedom and seek peace so that our veterans will not have died in vain. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners do hereby recognize May 25th, 2020 as Memorial Day 2020 in Cabarrus County, and urges all residents in the county to take time on this special day of remembrance to honor those who have sacrificed and died to improve our quality of life and to strengthen our nation. Do I hear a motion to adopt this proclamation?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Honeycutt, a second by Commissioner Shue. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, will all in favor please say aye?
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. And certainly we encourage everyone to remember the words of that proclamation as we celebrate Memorial Day next weekend. Next, we move on our agenda to informal public comments. As I mentioned earlier in the meeting, there are several ways that the public has an opportunity to participate in public comments. One of those was to come to the meeting chambers in person. The other was to email their information in. And so I will call on our clerk, Lauren Linker, at this time to give me a report if there are any requests for public comments that have come through any of those methods.
I have not received any prior, no written, and none in the chambers.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, having no one present for informal public comments, we'll move now to our consent agenda. You all have a copy of that before you. Our consent agenda consists of items that have been previously discussed at length at our work session 2 weeks ago. And so at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Honeycutt and a second by Commissioner Kiger to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. That motion passes unanimously, and we move now to new business. As I mentioned earlier in the meeting, due to new state required public hearing procedures, in addition to the process that I mentioned earlier for the public to participate in our public hearing, they also will have an additional 24 hours to submit any additional comments that they may have following the closing of this meeting. So we move now to item G1 from which is regarding an economic development investment. And we are happy to have Samantha Grass with us to talk about this item.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Samantha Grass, Recruitment Project Manager for Cabarrus Economic Development. Thank you for the opportunity to present Project Paul this evening. Project Paul has a presence in the Charlotte region and is considering relocating their operation to an existing industrial spec building located at 700 DeRuyter Road, Concord in the River Oaks Corporate Park. Project Paul is a manufacturing operation and does commercial print and mailing for various companies. The company's projected investment is approximately $24,560,000 in real and personal property. The investment includes some leasehold improvements, but mostly new equipment and the assessed value of equipment located at their current facility that would transfer over. There are 136 full-time jobs associated with this project with average wages above our current county average wage. Most of those jobs are transfers or would be transfers from their current location, but 17 of those jobs are new positions being added in the first year of operation. The Cabarrus County grant analysis is based on that estimated $24.56 million projected investment in real and personal property. We are asking for your consideration of a 3-year 85% economic development grant. The estimated grant for the 3-year term is $385,332. The net revenue to the county during that grant term is $68,000. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you all have.
Thank you, Samantha. Does anyone have questions they would like to ask Samantha regarding this project? Okay, hearing no questions, this has been advertised and does require a public hearing. So at this time, I will open the public hearing and welcome anyone who has comments that they would like to make on this project. Once again, I will ask our clerk, Lauren Linker, if she has received any requests from the public to make comments during this public hearing.
I have received no written, and there is no one on the line.
Okay, thank you. As I mentioned earlier, the public will have an additional 24 hours to submit comments should they have them. With no one being present either in person or electronically to speak to this, I will now close the public hearing and submit this proposal to the commissioners for action. What would be your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve an economic development agreement, 3 years, 85%, between Project Paul and Cabarrus County, made now, but to go into effect after the required 24-hour period, and with any additional comments reviewed, and authorize the county manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the board, subject to review and revision by the county attorney.
I'll second the motion, Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Honeycutt, a second by Commissioner Shue. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I just have one question for Samantha. She may have said that in her introductory part there, but I think I read where this facility is already there, but they're supposed to be in that sometime around October. Is that correct, Samantha?
That's correct. They project to be in operation fall of this year, October of 2020.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you very much.
Great. Any other comments or questions? As I mentioned frequently when we approve these economic development investments for our board members, this is not the first time we have discussed this project. That has been under consideration for quite some time. So we have already asked many questions and explored a lot of avenues regarding these projects before we bring them to the public for approval. So if there are no other questions or comments, we do have a motion and a second, and we will move to a vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay, we move now to item G2. We are happy to have Susan Fearington to lead us in a discussion, and then we will also have a public hearing regarding debt refunding of general obligations, certificate of participation, and limited obligation bonds. Welcome, Susan.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Yes,
ma'am.
Good. Just wanted to recap what we had spoken about on the May 4th agenda work session, that we have an opportunity to lower our future debt service payments by refunding a portion of our outstanding debt. So we can move on the declining interest rates that we're seeking local government commission approval in July, and then we will close on the debt very soon after that point. So included in your agenda packets, the paperwork for the general obligation bond refunding and also the limited obligation bond refunding. Each type is treated a little bit different. So you will, in your agenda packet, there's 4 different things that we need to sort of take care of this evening. The first one is an introduction and adopt the general obligation refunding bond order. This is to refund $20,830,000 worth of general obligation bonds. And also we need to adopt a general obligation bond sale resolution. And as Mr. Morris said, we do need to have a public hearing for our 2020 A through D limited obligation bonds. This is to refund $56,500,000 worth of limited obligation bonds. And then finally, after the public hearing, then we would need to approve the 2020 A through D series limited obligation bond financing. So this is part of a resolution. So all that's in your agenda packet. And as we always say, this is just a process that our bond attorney has us go through to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, so we can make sure we're in compliance with all the bondholders, and so that we can refund this money, the outstanding debt, and hopefully reduce our interest savings in the future. As always, we're looking at the market, and if the conditions are not right, we will only refund the obligations that will benefit the county in the long run. I did mention back on May 4th that for the general obligation bonds, we are looking right now to save about $343,000 over 7 years. And for our limited obligation bonds, we're estimated to receive about $3.2 million savings over 15 years. So just to give you a recap on that.
Thank you, Susan. Does anybody have questions that they would like to ask Ms. Farrington before we go forward? Always good news when we can save taxpayer money. So in the order that Susan has described, I would first entertain a motion to approve the general obligation refunding bond order and the general obligation bond sale resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Poole and a second by Commissioner Shue. Is there discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. And all opposed, no. That motion passes unanimously. We will now, as advertised, hold a public hearing for Series 2020 A through D limited obligation bond financing. And at this time, I will open the public hearing and receive word from our clerk, Lauren Linker, as to whether we have any requests for public comments.
I have not received any prior. There's none on the line and there's none in the chambers.
Okay, thank you. As we've discussed a couple times before, we do not have anyone present or making a request to make public comment, but they will have 24 hours from the end of this meeting to submit additional comments should they so desire. So at this time, I will close the public hearing and I would entertain a motion to approve the Series 2020 A through D limited obligation bond financing made now, but to go into effect after the required 24-hour period and with any additional comments reviewed.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Poole. I think that second was from Commissioner Kiger. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. That motion passes. Thank you very much. And we will move now to item G3, and that is acceptance of coronavirus relief funding. And I think Susan will lead us in that discussion as well.
Yes. So Cabarrus County was notified that we will receive $3,771,761 in coronavirus relief funding. The federal funds, as you may have read in the paper, will be distributed to the state, who will in turn distribute them to the counties that have a population of less than 500,000. If the county has over 500,000, they will be receiving funds separately, different method. The funds right now will be placed in the general fund and will be spent to assist with COVID-19 expenditures. This is a phase of funding that does not include revenue loss, like our sales tax. So this is to cover expenditures. So some of the things that we can spend the money on is employee time specific to COVID relief. We have employees who have been reassigned for these duties. We can purchase personal protective equipment, and there's typically 7 categories that we'll be able to do that. And I'll just run down the 7 categories. There's medical expenses, public health expenses, payroll expenses, expenses of actions to facilitate compliance with COVID-19 related public health measures. And these are broad topics. Then we have expenses associated with provision of economic support in connection with COVID-19 public health emergency, and then any related type expenditures. And then we have some grants to municipalities and nonprofits that can be made. We just wanted to bring this to your attention and go ahead and get this so we could move on the funds when we do receive them and be able to help alleviate some of the hardships that we have experienced here at the county. Also on that same line, there's in your agenda packet, we also have another funding that we received. Is the county's been awarded $58,008 in formula funds from the Department of Justice. And this is in order to help pay for the majority of our COVID HVAC pressurization project over at our jail, where you have to confine people. So these funds are part of the Department of Justice's Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Funding Program for states and municipalities that participate in the Justice Assistance Grant. So that's another set of money that we're going to be able to get and allocate for that project. And then finally, I don't think we've updated you on some money, that EMS stimulus money that for lost revenue from our EMS department. So we so far have notification that receiving of $151,402. So all this being said, just wanted a mechanism to be able to report to you and then to be able to authorize myself to get this prepared appropriately in our budget and spent the proper way with its proper tracking.
Great. Thank you, Susan. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask on this matter?
No.
I will point out that that county staff has been working very closely with our municipalities, and as Susan mentioned, these funds are available to assist with their expenses as well. So we are diligently working through that process to make sure everyone in Cabarrus County is taken care of. And so any additional questions? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to accept the coronavirus relief funding and authorize the finance director to prepare the appropriate budget amendment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Honeycutt, second by Commissioner Hsu. Is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, no. Then that motion passes unanimously. That completes our new business for tonight, and we move now to reports. And first, we will receive updates from commission members who serve as liaisons to municipalities or on various other boards or committees. So the floor is open for those reports at this time. Okay, hearing none, we'll move now to general comments by board members, if anyone has anything they'd like to comment on. I will mention one thing that was brought up earlier when we were recognizing our youth commissioners, and that was the census process. We've talked about that a number of times before. That is extremely important to Cabarrus County, that our citizens do complete those census reports. I think that we may have been to some small degree sidetracked with our COVID-19 situation and the many changes that we have had in our lifestyles, but it is a very simple and easy process to go online and fill out that census report. And so I would encourage anyone who has not done that thus far to please remember to do that. We also would like to encourage everyone to be safe as some of our retail businesses and other things begin to open back up. We encourage people to wear their face mask when they go out in public. You may have seen some promotions that we've done in that regard, and that protects other folks from us. And if everyone will do that, hopefully we'll all be beneficiaries of that. We spent a pretty significant amount of time at our last meeting talking about the process that we go through in following the state guidelines and our legal setup at the county as to how we institute follow the rules that come down from Raleigh. I think I've received several emails since that time that would indicate that folks still do not totally understand how that process works. But I think that if we're all use our common sense and move forward with the great direction that we've received from our health authority, things will hopefully begin to improve for our business community soon, as well as all of our citizens. So are there any other general comments that anyone would like to make?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a couple of comments. I'm just so thankful that our Cabarrus County schools and the A.L. Brown High School are going to be able to graduate their kids. And I appreciate the Charlotte Motor Speedway jumping in there and offering to help. I don't know all the details, but I know it's definitely going to be something out of the ordinary from what we're all used to, but at least we're getting to honor our students that way. And I'm appreciative of this county staff and everyone that took part in trying to get that worked out. And I think we'll be meeting one more time before the graduates do graduate. But I appreciate all the effort made to see to it that we could try to make this graduation somewhat normal in an abnormal situation that we're in. So thank everyone for all their part. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Great. Thank you, sir. Hopefully it'll be memorable and just be a little different, memorable in a little different way than what it might have otherwise been, but important all the same. Are there any other comments? If not, at this time, I would entertain a motion that we go into closed session according to general statute to discuss pending litigation, North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A and 3.
Move for approval.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Shue and a second, I think, from Commissioner Honeycutt that we go into closed session. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. We will now be in closed session. I think the proper procedure for those of us participating in that meeting will be to leave this Microsoft Teams meeting, and you all should have received an invitation for a closed session meeting, and then we will reconvene in that meeting. We thank everyone who has joined us both online and on TV tonight, and we will see you again at our work session next month. Thank you.
Speed as to where we are with this project here on I-85.